Hello there. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Juciao WUKONG Pro Pickleball Paddle Kevlar Carbon Fiber Weave. Plays like a power paddle, but I'm going to give you my thorough review after about 50 hours-ish of playtime. All right, put 60 seconds on the clock for the super broad overview, and then I'll go a little bit deeper. Who's it for? Intermediate players. You're not going to see pro players with the Juciao budget paddles. Beginners, I think, should stay away. I think beginners should probably be doing like a control paddle, a wide body shape, and like a Kevlar face or something like that. How does it play? Two things. Surprisingly poppy. A little bit more power than you might think. When you first start to hit it, then you hit some drives and you're like, oh, okay, there it is. But I think it's very unforgiving at the kitchen if you are not used to a little bit of pop, especially. I came from a really controlled centered paddle to this, and I have to be very precise. Blocking drives, blocking speed ups. If your paddle face is like remotely in the wrong spot, it's just gonna fly out of bounds. It really will. It's surprisingly poppy, but a little bit inconsistently so, if that makes sense. Budget is perfect. Budget paddle, AliExpress, $100 US max. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little more. Design is flawless. It looks super cool. And it looked cool in the pictures that I saw, which is partially why I ordered it. And in person, it also just looks amazing. It really does. Would I recommend this, though? If you're just looking for a budget paddle and you want to hit it hard, especially from the baseline, yes, absolutely. Super fun. The weave has held up pretty good. The grit has held up pretty good so far. And it's just a great paddle. It is. It's my favorite Juciao paddle out of the 4 that I've tried. All right, this is awkward. They kicked me out of the pickleball courts, but it's okay. They're doing construction to do what? Take over more tennis courts. No joke. While I was recording, they were like, hey, we got to put in more pickleball courts. Okay, great. Anyways, let's talk about power. So from the baseline, I think this plays really well and comfortable, and your drives are going to be nice and hard. It feels good. If you hit them too flat on accident, serves, returns, or drives, you come up too flat or whatever, there's a tendency for it to go out. Long, as in, wow, that came off the paddle faster than I thought it would. That's good, right? It means you need to get better at controlling your drives, your form, getting enough topspin on there to have it curve down and come back in the court. It's what you want out of a power-ish paddle. Baseline, serves, returns, drives, I think it does really well. And even like third shot drops, whether you do it this way or whatever, I found it pretty comfortable, pretty accurate. At the kitchen is a completely different story and a completely different paddle. So I have a couple of Kevlar control paddles. I actually have the Spartus Apollo with me. I don't have the cheap $30 Juciao version with me. I actually gave it away to my local YMCA, but it's exactly the same as this. This up at the kitchen for me was a dream. No, there's not as much like straight up counter and pop. I don't really need that personally. What I want is forgiveness. Again, I'm not a 5.0 player, I'm a 4.0 player. And when I'm playing doubles, especially, which is mostly what I do, I want forgiveness. If I hit it here, here, I want it to still come off the paddle in a reasonable way. If I hit it with this angle instead of this or that angle, like if I hit right here, I want it to be pretty forgiving and land in bounds. This is very not forgiving. Again, for me personally, I think it actually makes me a better player at the kitchen because it forces me to really like, if I do this, that ball's sailing out. That paddle needs to be like exactly where I need it to be when I make contact with it. If I'm like doing this or vice versa, that ball is sailing out of bounds right here. If it's coming with any speed, it has actually forced me to really nail down, like to be really, really precise. I would say it's a con for most people who are beginner to intermediate players. Whereas this, if you're a beginner player, you can kind of just like make contact with that ball and it's gonna like not fly off the paddle. It's more likely to land in bounds. If you're an intermediate player looking to improve your game at the kitchen, especially on like blocking, drives, speed ups, that sort of thing, this will make you better, I think. It's gonna force you to be like, oh wow, that ball sailed out. What the heck is going on? So that's the power. Let's talk about control, specifically like softer touch shots at the kitchen, or if you are in a like dinking battle. I think it actually does fine. I don't think I've ever accidentally like, okay, here's like cross-court dinks, or I'm going over here, or I don't do a whole lot of two-hand backhand top spin dinks myself because I'm not very good at it. But I've had plenty of control on my soft game. I don't think it's like, oh wow, that ball flew off the paddle and now it's a pop-up. I haven't really realized that. It's actually been pretty soft-ish. It's allowed me to hit what I want to hit, if that makes any sense. So it's not a controlled paddle, but it's not like really unforgiving with the soft game. It's unforgiving on drives and speed ups and that sort of thing at the kitchen. I think that's where it like really forces you to hone in. Okay, I've said that already. All right, really quick, let's talk about spin. So when it first got here, just like every other paddle, for the first like 2 or 3 hours that you play with it, it's gonna be like, oh wow, this is great spin compared to what I was using, because what I was using had the grit wear off over time. Naturally, like, especially if it's like a spray-on grit, and unless you literally have like a replaceable grit of some kind. Raw carbon fiber, Kevlar, everything, it wears out, right? Here's my Spartus Apollo, which I actually played with a good bit. I don't know if you can really see there, but even on this Kevlar weave, after maybe like 60, 70 play hours especially, it just wears out, period, right? I used the little sandpaper block things, not sandpaper, whatever it's called, right? Honeycomb. I use those things, it cleans it well. It maybe helps a teeny tiny bit of the grip, but it just kind of wears out. This one, I don't have quite that many play hours on it yet, but it has held up pretty well. It has. And even to the touch at this point, I can still see there's not a whole lot of areas where I'm like, yeah, it's starting to wear out, like right here in the beautiful sweet spot. I can tell it was wearing out. No, it's actually held up really, really well. Again, it's still kind of new. I can't speak to long-term durability. This is the titanium, or the Titan 1.0. It's not actually a titanium weave. I can't remember what it's called, but raw carbon fiber plus fake titanium. Again, I can't remember what it's called. This actually held up pretty well as the WuKong paddle. I don't have the Spin 1.0. Actually, it's inside. I could probably go get it. That one wore out faster, like the Kevlar paddle. And again, I don't have the other Juciao Kevlar paddle with me. But spin, it's been good. It's not phenomenal, but it's been good. More than enough, I think, for what you need. All right, let's talk about touch, feel, sweet spots, and that sort of stuff. So, again, it feels a little bit poppy for me. I like a little bit of power because I do a lot of drives, 3rd shot drives, 5th shot drives, and so on and so forth. I like to drive. I like to hit it hard. I like to serve aggressive, and it's suited me very, very well for that. It's got enough power. Maybe not the most power, but it's got enough power. The sweet spot is just okay. If I were rating all of the Juciao paddles, I would say the Spin 1.0 is by far the worst. That one does not have a large sweet spot. I mean, you just feel it when you hit it, right? That ball is just flying off the sides of your paddle or just dying, right? This guy is the Titan 1.0. Feels like a block of wood. I read somebody call it that. It literally just feels like you're playing with, not a 2x4, but like a 1x2, or it feels like a block of wood. That's really accurate. I hated it, and then I loved it after like a couple of days of playing with it. Really big fan. And the sweet spot is just kind of there. It's pretty forgiving, block of wood. It's very forgiving if you hit it here or hit it here, but you still just have to like learn the paddle. This one I feel plays like a more traditional paddle, like a more premium paddle, the more premium paddles I've played with, but it's not quite as forgiving as like a block of wood. It's easier to figure out than the Titan 1.0, but it's not as forgiving. But it's not so much that I notice. It's not like, oh wow, the sweet spot on this thing is like terrible. No, that's not what it feels like at all. It feels fine. Not fantastic, it feels fine. Again, elongated shape versus the wide body. So if you're a complete beginner, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to recommend a wide body. I would recommend that to myself when I first started playing, coming from a tennis background especially, wanting to be like really wild and taking big swings and all this other stuff. Wide body. This thing right here, the Spartus Apollo, has a magnormous sweet spot. It feels great. Last thing, really, durability, who can say? I worry about these straight from the factory, B2C, business to consumer, factory to consumer paddles. I do. This one feels fine, but who's to say if I ordered the same WuKong Pro paddle that it wouldn't have a slight difference in it. That kind of bugs me, but these budget paddles are budget for a reason, and that's part of the reason why. They mass produce these things, and then they just ship them straight to customers via AliExpress. There's not as much quality control as buying a more expensive brand, where they have more quality control. That's it, period. So I can't speak to long-term durability. I think you kind of got to take what you can get when you order these types of paddles anyways. But again, it's budget friendly. It's $100 or less, so take a chance. If you like the way it looks, if you just want to try out the WuKong for the Kevlar carbon fiber weave, which I suggest you should, plays really well. It's a little unforgiving at the kitchen, and it's something that's going to force you to be more precise, to be ready faster, so you can do your hands this way or that way or this way or that way. It's gonna force your game to rise a little bit. And other than that, it's just fun for a budget paddle, right? I just remembered one thing. The sound and vibration. So it's actually been, you know, you can't see me right here. It's actually pretty good, I think, sound-wise. It doesn't sound awkward, doesn't sound entirely too loud. You know what I mean? It sounds normal, if you will. I don't really know what to say about that. It's not too loud, it's not too soft, it doesn't sound weird or odd. It's like some paddles do. It sounds okay. That's it, that's all I got. I don't know what else you want from me. Vibration is totally fine. The block of wood, maybe not so much. The Spin 1.0, I feel like also had a lot more vibration. I do not have the rubber band that came with it on there right now, but I have heard that if you put those back on, they can possibly reduce vibrations. I've been playing with the Hesicor grip on there almost from the get-go. I used it a few times stock, but then I just threw on the Hesicor grip because I love them. And for me, that reduces tennis elbow, period. It just does. I had tennis elbow until I switched to Hesicor grips, and they're not paying me to say that, but I don't have tennis elbow anymore. Just straight up reduces a lot of the annoying vibrations that us old people experience playing pickleball. So vibration's not over the top, and it sounds good. Did I miss anything? Okay, so bottom line, you already heard me say it like 5 times, really. The price point is phenomenal, and it looks super cool, and it actually plays pretty well for mostly the entire game. So I can totally, I think, recommend this to just about anybody. If you're brand new, I think it's gonna be a little hard to get used to compared to a more control paddle. If you're looking for a super premium $250 Yola power paddle, this isn't going to necessarily replace it. For one, the quality control. For two, it's not that much power poppy. It's pretty power, it's pretty poppy, but it's not like super power and poppy. I think it's going to force you to get better at your kitchen play, specifically blocking drives and speed ups. You have to be very precise. And I think if you played with this for more than a month or two, it would actually improve your game doing those things. And it's got enough control at the kitchen. Not as much as some of the other paddles I've played with, but enough control. So that's it. That's the bottom line. Like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoyed this review, and I will do more of them. If you don't, I'll probably just stick with my other YouTube channels, which are not about pickleball. All right, I hope you have a lovely day. WuKong Pro, out.